Winter. That time of the year where, for the most part, you kind of find yourself feeling like the south side of a north-facing camel. And the only oysters that are sliding down the back of your throat aren't from Neisner or Luderitz, but are from your sinuses. I hate winter. You know what makes it worse? Then suddenly everybody out there, all your mates are doctors and homeopaths dispensing these miracle cures for the cold and flu. Well, not to be outdone here at Ignition GT, what we thought we'd do is we'd offer you our remedy for the winter blues. What you need is a hotspot. Toss that silly hot tot and replace it with a hot hatch. And then simply blast around the track until your pipes burn clean. Just like that, winter's gone.
For an extra dose of vitamin C, you should definitely opt for the tangerine screen paintwork. Like the previous generation's burnt orange, this particular shade of surreal yellow is sure to become the ST's signature colour. Design revisions have been subtle and serve to bring the car in line with the rest of the Focus lineup, rather than giving Ford's hottest hatch an extreme makeover.
Right, so as you saw, not much has changed from an exterior styling perspective. From a performance perspective, nothing has changed. 184 kilowatts, 360 Newton meters. I'm not really complaining about that because those are still impressive figures, and you're going to pay a hell of a lot more if you want to start tapping into the 200 kilowatt bracket of your Astro PCs and your Golf Rs. So why then has Ford brought us to probably the ultimate little test track of any motor vehicle in South Africa currently, Desi Raceway on the South Coast? Not many tracks are built like this anymore, where they actually just follow the natural contour of the land and slap some tar down until you go for it and see if you can hang on. So there are switchbacks, off camber, blind risers, real test for a car's stability. And that is what Ford tells us has been the biggest change on the Focus ST. They've gone and done a lot of work with the suspension. They've changed the spring rates. They've increase the firmness in the front end in particular, which is important on a front-wheel drive car because you want to keep the wheels that are doing the driving on the road at all times, and that firmness is going to help it through the corners, a lot less flex. And that is the main work that they said they've gone and done to the Focus ST. All-round improvement and enhancement from a suspension setup perspective. Torque vectoring they've also revised. They've worked on the steering. So generally improvements all round. They've also brought first time to market. And this is like another one of those terms you've got to try and remember. It's enhanced transitional stability. There we go, another one for you to use. But essentially, it's not a performance aid, it's actually a safety aid. Because what it does is it detects your driving style and it detects inputs from the driver and the car and picks up if you're about to get yourself into a nasty situation. Ideal when it comes to dynamic lane changes, and it allows the car to actually brake the individual wheels. So this is good stuff from a safety perspective and gives them their Euro NCAP maximum rating stars, which is fantastic. There are a couple things on the Focus ST that I love. And these are the things that you know this car is built for a driver. And they're things that I hate to say are on the endangered list from a motoring perspective. Number one, a manual gearbox. Oh yes, 6-speed manual gearbox, and it is sweet. It really is a short throw into all the gear changes, so we like it a lot. Another thing, it's got a handbrake. I love that. None of this electronic crap. Their big competitor would be Golf and their GTI. And Golf made a big song and dance about the fact that they now have a 3-stage stability and traction control system. Yeah, great, off. But when you turn it off, it doesn't completely disengage. Huh? What is the flippin' point? Not so with Ford. When you turn this off, it gives you full control, but it retains the torque vectoring capabilities of the vehicle. And what I love about it, through a technical track like this, is it really allows you to flick the car around. It brings the rear end of the car alive. It's a really fantastic car to throw around. One thing the Golf has, which the Focus ST doesn't have, is adaptive suspension. So I can't go and choose a comfort and a sporty and a dynamic mode. It's in that engaged mode all the time. And that's probably for the older boy racer a nice bonus that the Golf has, because he's going to be driving in a nice comfortable car when he wants to, but he's still got the performance, whereas this is boy racer. The main difference between Golf GTI and Focus ST, you are more involved in the drive in the Focus. The engine notes, when you pull away, you get pushed back in your seats. There's a lot more drama about it delivering what it needs to deliver. Whereas the Golf, you kind of feel like you're cruising, and then you look at the lap times, you go, oh my word. I would put my neck out and say the GTI, especially the performance pack, is probably going to be quicker around a lap than the Focus ST, but you can have a lot more fun doing that lap in the Focus ST. Nice optional extras on a 19-inch wheel that comes with red calipers and a sunroof, and if you go that, it's going to make the drive even more firm. But what a fantastic car. Really enjoyed it, and this track is really putting it to the test. So one thing that the Ignition GT remedy for winter blues isn't is cheap. A hot hatch these days, can you believe it, is going to set you back 400,000 K, and that's exactly where the Focus ST is positioned. Entry level ST1 is coming in at about 380, and the top spec ST3 420,000. So it is slap bang in the middle of the hot hatches out there. So which one do you buy? Because at the end of the day, you're either a GTI driver or you're a Ford Focus ST driver. I would not bother with all the extra creature comforts that you get, because from a performance perspective, rather save yourself the 40 or 50 odd grand and get the car that's going to do the job just as well. What the ST3 does give you, well, it's got their new Sync 2 system that is obviously the big talking point, an 8-inch touchscreen television. The Recaro racing seats are now leather, they heat, and they've got adjustment 8-way for driver and passenger. There's LED daytime running lights, you know, the list goes on, but that really is for the guy that is kind of wanting to cruise around to work. But when it comes with a manual box and a handbrake and a traction control you can turn off, save your money, get the ST1. Cough's gone.